and welcome to another Jam Virtual Church. I can't quite believe it, but Christmas has happened. It's now the 27th of December, and yeah, you've probably opened all your presents, and have you eaten all your chocolate yet? I don't know, I have. Sorry, that's why this t-shirt doesn't fit me. Never mind, whoops. I really hope you had a great Christmas, had lots of fun with your family, and were able to spend some precious moments at home and watching church online and all those kinds of things. We know this year has been a bit different, and all of you have been absolutely fantastic and wonderful at learning to cope with brand new situations and new things, and you have done so well, and I think you should all be really proud of what you've achieved this year, despite everything that's happened and all the changes that you've been through. We are here for this week. We're going to do another story this week that just finishes off really the Christmas story and fits in rather appropriately, because this is the story of the wise men visiting Jesus, and we are pretty sure that they did not arrive when he was born, but actually came a little bit later on. So the fact that we're doing this after Christmas is absolutely fine. Just a little story and a few songs today, but we really hope that you have a great day, that you've had a good Christmas. Maybe you could let us know some of the Christmas presents you've got, because I love finding out all the different presents that you've got and what you've enjoyed this Christmas. Perhaps when we can meet back again in person, we can share those stories again. Next week is going to be a karaoke sing-along. I've given the Jam team a week off over Christmas to have a bit of a break. So we're just going to have some worship songs that you can join in with and sing along to your heart's content, dance, move around, all those kinds of things. But that's next week. So without further ado, here's Jam Virtual Church.
The King of all Kings. The story of the three wise men from Matthew 2, taken from the Jesus Storybook Bible by Sally Lloyd-Jones. Far away in the east, three clever men saw the very same star, the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it would come. "He's here," they shouted. "He's here!" and I'm sure if you'd been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. At dawn, they packed up their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Special, sparkly, lovely-smelling, gleaming things, just right for a king. The 3 wise men, actually, if you'd met them, you would have thought they were kings because they were so rich and clever and important-looking, set off. They rode their camels across endless deserts, up steep, steep mountains, down into deep, deep valleys, through raging rivers, over grassy plains, night and day and night, for hours that turned into days, that turned into weeks, that turned into months and months, until, at last, they reached Jerusalem. Jerusalem was by far the most important city for miles around, and, as anyone can tell you, that's where a palace would be, and kings are born in palaces. So that's where they went. But they were in for a surprise. They went to see King Herod. Surely he'd know where this baby was. But he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him cross. He didn't want anyone to be king except him. But Herod's advisors told the 3 wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. Go to Bethlehem. That's where you'll find him. Suddenly the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them the way. So the 3 wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road, into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem, out of the nice part of town, through the not-so-nice part of town, into the really not-so-nice part of town, down a little dirt track until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace, and there weren't any guards, or servants, or flags, or red carpets, or trumpets, or anything. Did they get it wrong? Or was this what God meant? Sure enough, in that little house, there, sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The 3 men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave him their sparkling treasures. The journey that had begun so many centuries before had led the 3 wise men here, to a little town, to a little house, to a little child, to the king God had promised David all those years before. But this child was a new kind of king. Though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor. Though he was the mighty God, he had become a helpless baby. This king hadn't come to be the boss, he had come to be a servant.
It's good to pray, and there's lots of things that we can be thankful for today, and we're going to pray about that. Dear God, we thank you that you are with us, and that there are so many things that we can learn from you and from the story of Christmas. We thank you for all the good gifts that we've received over this time, and we thank you for our families and our friends. And even though we might miss many of them this Christmas time, we thank you that we can remember them in our hearts and in our minds, and share with them the different stories and things that we've been doing. So may you help us to remember that, and remember to be thankful each and every day. Amen. Take care, guys. See you again soon.
While shepherds watched their flocks by night, all seated on the ground, the angel of the Lord came down and glory shone around. Fear not, said he, for mighty dread had seized their troubled mind. Glad tidings of great joy I bring to you and all mankind. To you in David's town this day is born of David's line a Saviour who is Christ the Lord, and this shall be the sign. The heavenly baby there shall find a human being displayed, all meanly wrapped in swaddling bands and in a manger laid. Thus spake the seraph, and forthwith appeared a shining throng of angels praising God, who thus addressed their joyful song. All glory be to God on high, and to the earthly peace, and all has good from heaven and begin and never cease.